Hey guys, and welcome back to the NerdPub podcast. I'm your host Adam, and today I'm joined by a special guest. This is Matthew from the Geeks Attic. Thank you so much for joining us today, Matthew.
Hey, thank you for having me. Glad to finally be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. So today we're going to be kind of crossing through three different universes. Today we're going to be talking about Star Wars, and then Batman, and then the Ghostbusters. So guys, just grab your drinks. I got beer, and he's got
my lime LaCroix.
All right.
Sparkling water.
So yeah, just come join us with a drink and talk some nerd stuff with us. But before we begin, Matthew, I was just going to ask, can you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel and just like what you do there and everything?
Okay, yeah, sure. I started off several years ago, not knowing what I was going to do, but I wanted to have a channel, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do the popular thing and subscribe to a nerd box and do an unboxing. Well, that didn't last too long because nobody watched anything. So I was like, okay, I got to find my own little niche. Where should I take this thing? And I read a Star Wars book. After Lucasfilm was bought by Disney, my interest peaked for the Star Wars books because I know that they'd always had these books, and the universe was so massive. I was always intimidated, had no idea where to pick up a book, what to do with it. So when Disney bought it, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the bookstore. I'm going to go check this out and see what George originally had in mind with his sequel. Or not really the sequel, but just the way that it went. Where did the main characters end up after that Return of the Jedi? So I picked up Death Troopers. It's just a random book in the order, read it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to review this on the internet. Didn't review that book until years later, but I started reading new canon material. I started doing book reviews. Then I thought, well, I should go back and do some Legends reviews, and I've got a couple of those up, but focus primarily on Star Wars reviews and just little other book reviews. I like doing World of Warcraft book reviews, miscellaneous things. I do a couple novelization reviews. Like recently I picked up Outbreak. This is definitely a fitting book for the times. So I might read this one pretty soon and do a review of that, just because that's pretty, events in that movie parallel to what's happening today. So, but yeah, that's my channel. Star Wars primarily, review books, talk about other nerd things as well.
Yeah, I've been subscribed to your channel for a while, and I was just wanting to give you a shout out because he kind of helped me get out of my little bubble that I was in, and he invited me on a live stream that he had, and that's when I got to meet him and Jeremy and Matt Wilkins and everybody. So just wanted to say thank you for that, and also he also designed my new profile picture on my YouTube channel. Just also wanted to say thank you for that.
Hey, no problem.
But
and I want to thank you too for completing my expanded universe collection by giving me the Revenge of the Sith novelization, the one book that I did not have, and you filled that gap. Now I have the entire expanded universe novel series.
Well, I was really happy to do it, man. Yeah. Well, you also I've been following his channel, and through one of his vlogs, I learned that he was in that Matthew was living in the Oklahoma City area, just like me. And then I found Revenge of the Sith at a bookstore, and I reached out to him on his channel, and we met up and talked for a couple hours, and we've hung out on occasion, and just live streamed. So yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's really cool to actually, when you told me, oh, I live in Oklahoma City too, and I'm like, no way, this is crazy. And then we met up, and I was like, all right, awesome. I found a friend through YouTube.
Me too. Just we used to tell our children never meet people on the internet, but
here we are. It helped that I got to see your face through the live stream first. I was like, oh, he's not some 70-year-old creeper.
Yeah, you secretly had a facial recognition scanner there.
Yeah.
Well, today, since he is a Star Wars channel, we both talked about the High Republic recently. He did a live stream on his channel where, unfortunately, he was waiting for over like an hour and a half, waiting for Disney to release the information on Project Luminous, and we finally got it. It's about the High Republic.
Right.
So it's going to be taking place 200 years before the events of the Skywalker saga. So it's mostly going to be books and comic books that we saw, but it's going to, as far as movies go, nothing really official confirmed there yet.
Nope.
But it's got a bunch of good authors that have written for Star Wars. Like we have Claudia Gray, she's written a couple of good YA novels, and we have Charles Soule and Daniel Jose Older, and quite a few other well-known Star Wars authors. But first, I
Right.
was just kind of wanting to say, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's an interesting time period to pick from. A lot of people were expecting it to be like old Republic stuff, but I think
Hmm.
they really wanted to do their own thing and didn't want to have to worry about pleasing the expanded universe fans or making them even more angry than they already are at Disney. So they thought, well, let's just go ahead and put something in between, um, where they say that the Jedi are actually in their prime. Who knows? I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm looking forward to giving it a shot and seeing what they do with it. I'm looking forward to Claudia Gray's book the most. She's just doing a YA novel, but that's what I'm looking forward to the most with that one. I think it's
Yeah,
called Into the Darkness or something.
yeah. That one's that's about a younger Padawan, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think mine that I'm looking forward to the most is the one that Charles Soule is written, or has written. I'm sorry, and but because I really love that cover. I love the Jedi uniforms that they have, and
Hmm.
I'm glad that we finally see an official Wookiee Jedi, and
Yes.
they have pretty unique lightsaber designs as well. And yeah, it was a little disappointing though that it wasn't the Old Republic, but I mean.
Hmm.
But honestly, I thought about it one day and I just realized that Disney has never really done like things the original way. Like I guess like when
Hmm.
they take like a fairy tale like Cinderella or something, they always add like their own little twist
Right.
to it.
Right.
So like yeah, a lot of fans, like you said, are a little upset with them about the sequel trilogy. And I mean, I have no problem with the sequel trilogy. I mean, I know that there are Star Wars fans out there that are
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
against it, like refuse to watch it and everything. And that's fine if that's fine. I mean, that's your business.
Yeah.
Um, but I realized it's like, yeah, well, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised because Disney has, they always do their own thing. Like even if
Hmm.
it's a story that's already been told, they always do their own thing.
Right.
But I'm really interested to see the High Republic story arc. I mean, I will say when I first found out about it, it was a little anticlimactic for me. I was excited, but it was just more like, well,
Right.
they kind of hinted at it like in Dooku Jedi Lost, they've hinted at it, and
Hmm.
a couple of comics they've hinted at the High Republic, and then they say like, what will Project Luminous be? And then we were like, is it the High
Right.
Republic?
Right. Yeah, I never understood where people got the idea of movies or video games, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, they're going to have it tie into movies and video games," and I don't know where you got that, especially when it was coming from a publisher. Like the Del Rey. They were the ones that were teasing it the most. For some reason, people got the idea, "Oh, there's going to be movies." There's not, at least not
No,
for now.
I can possibly see it tie into the games because with Jedi Fallen Order, like majority of the game is just going to explore like temples
Hmm.
and like so I can see how they could probably tie that into um but yeah, it'd be nice, or I mean it's nice to finally get a different story that's not about Luke Skywalker or Anakin, or
Right.
so it's going to be unique.
Hmm.
And Um, but yeah, I'm intrigued by it. I'm going to give it a chance, and I'm going to read all the books, and I'm just not going to, just rush to conclusions about it. I mean, I'm actually
Right.
really intrigued by it because this is an area of Star Wars that we have not covered yet.
Exactly, and it's the thing that a lot of people don't really do is give things a chance. They just want to assume something
Hmm.
and get mad at it, especially in the Star Wars community right now, which is silly. But people don't like to give things a chance. It's just the culture we live in, I think. But
Yeah.
even when there's the book that I'm dreading to read or don't like it, I know that someone else out there is looking forward to it and likes it. You
Speaking of
know,
which, on your channel, you have gone out of your way to, you know, reveal your love for the Padme books.
oh gosh, yes, those things are so bad.
Well, it's funny that my wife actually started reading it tonight.
Oh, the Queen's Shadow.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Um, And I've heard that it's probably I mean, girls obviously will like it better because it's directed
Aimed
towards
towards
them,
that, right?
aimed towards them. Yeah. So and Padme is her favorite character, so she'll probably like it.
Yeah.
But so I was also going to ask, what are your thoughts about the Skywalker saga as a whole now that it's officially over?
Now that's an official over. I'm kind of disappointed with the way that the last sequel trilogy did end up. I thought the story was very disconnected. Um, Things that were mentioned in episode 8 didn't continue on in episode 9, especially with like Luke. I was actually thinking about that today. I did get an early copy of the Rise of Skywalker audiobook, so I've been
Hmm.
listening to that. And Ray Carson, I'll just say, is doing a pretty good job on expanding some things. But I remember Luke saying in episode 8 to Kylo Ren, like, I'll see you around, kid, right? Isn't that what he says to him?
Yeah.
Um, how come that didn't happen in episode 9? We never
Yeah.
saw anything. We saw Luke one time talking to Rey. It was like, okay. And then we never heard anything about him appearing between the movies to Kylo. So it's just kind of like that disconnect where they didn't know what they were going to do. They just threw something out there and tried to wrap it up quickly. So I think that there were some problems there in production that they just probably like, let's just get it out there. Because each movie made less and less and less cash as they came out. I think people are just shifting towards Marvel, maybe, more than they are Star Wars these days.
Yeah, and I mean the Marvel films are great, and I mean I don't necessarily blame the movies themselves. I do. I mean, even the CEO Bob Iger, before he resigned, he did actually go public and say that hey, Star Wars, the problem that we have, that's on us. We've been not planning it properly. We've been like we realized that we're throwing too much out there, like because after Rise or Last Jedi they threw out Solo and it wasn't advertised and
Right.
it wasn't advertised properly, and they kept changing directors and everything, all that other crap. And this Solo, as I thought it was a good movie, but it didn't perform well.
Right.
And that's unfortunate because Han Solo is one of my favorite characters, and and he's also my brother-in-law's favorite. And it's just kind of really sad that that they just kind of was like, oh, people are enjoying these Star Wars movies, let's just throw it all at them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, like, no, you got to give us a little bit of time to get excited for it, build it up. And
Yeah.
uh but yeah, I do agree with you. Like, I've noticed that's a trend with a lot of Force ghosts. They say, hey, I'll see you around, and then you see them like what, 2 or 3 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was like in the expanded universe at one point. I think it was in the Thrawn trilogy, wasn't it? When Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Luke in the beginning of the book, basically like, well, I'm out of here. And you never hear from him again.
I did read that he did eventually say like
Show up again.
like deuces.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I did actually read in a comic book at the bookstore one time. It showed like Luke sitting on Endor, and he just destroyed the Death Star. And I think this was like a comic that introduced Mara Jade, and it was just funny because he's just like, well, I'm a Jedi now. I've defeated Vader. I destroyed the Death Star. Like, now what? And then because it talked about how like Anakin and Yoda and Obi-Wan just were like, he'll figure it out. He'll be okay.
Yeah. That's crazy. Poor Luke.
Yeah, right. They're always messing with him in both canon and Legends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, the movies I don't necessarily have a problem with because it's not the direction I would have gone, and I can tell that you can tell that when you watch these movies, like, oh yeah, this is like Disneyfied, I guess.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just, I guess the problem with the movies is that they didn't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like J.J. Abrams came out with his movie, and then they gave it to another director, but he had a different vision.
Yeah.
And that started to sink things downhill. And then they're like, okay, well then we'll get this other guy, but then they fired him, and then J.J. Abrams came back, and I was surprised that it was better than I thought it was going to be, but it's just the movie really gives you nothing, and as
Right.
like as terms of like answered questions. But the novelization, like I was gonna read it, but then like people on the internet kept spoiling it for me. It's like, well, never mind then.
Right. Yeah.
But because Palpatine's return was similar to its Legends counterpart, I won't go into too full detail, but
Right. Well, I think a lot of the stuff that people are saying too, like the spoiler stuff that's been leaked on that, a lot of it is from a certain point of view. uh, didn't mean to say that, but to quote Kenobi, the negative spin. They like to put a negative spin on a lot of the stuff that's been revealed. Because to me, when I was listening to it, a lot of the stuff sounds better in the book than it turned out in the film.
oh really?
It makes a lot more sense. So give it a shot when it's fully released.
Okay.
You might enjoy it.
Yeah, I might have to do that. So
So
you're
there are some additions to the book. They call it the expanded edition. So I guess every novelization is pretty much expanded.
yeah, I just finished the Batman novelization today, and that was actually pretty for the '89 film. That was actually pretty expanded. There was actually some scenes in there that I wish were in the film. So
Oh yeah, really? Okay, I have a copy of that. I'll have to get to open it up.
yeah, I think you'll like it. You'll definitely know when you read it. Like this was it, you know.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I think it's a good time right now to move on to the next topic, and we're going to be discussing one of your favorite fandoms outside of Star Wars, and that is Ghostbusters.
Absolutely.
So I was going to ask, what introduced you to Ghostbusters, and like when did you decide like it was your favorite?
Oh man, when my parents, I saw it when I was 3, and I was hooked on it ever since. Grew up with it. It's just part of who I am. I mean, I had all the toys. I think they're all still up in my parents' attic. Don't have them with me here, otherwise they'd be all over the house. I don't know. I don't know if I'd let my wife's looking at me right now, like the judgmental look. No, I'd like to have my kids play with them, but I think they'd tear them up. But I guess that's better than just sitting in a box in an attic somewhere. They're probably all melted together.
Because of all this Oklahoma heat. And everything.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love both the movies. I did not see the 2016 or 2014. I can't remember what year it came out.
Me neither.
But I had no interest in that one. Didn't see it. I love the original too, and I'm really happy to hear that they're doing another one. Only because the director is the son of the original director, which was Ivan Reitman. So his son Jason Reitman is doing this one. So it's got that family tie in it. So
yeah, I actually I never told you, but I actually didn't watch any of the Ghostbuster movies until I was in college.
it's insane.
Like when I was like 20 years old, I think is when I saw the first one, and I really liked it. And I was like, man, why haven't I seen this before? And I've seen a little bit of the TV show when I was a kid.
The cartoon.
But yeah,
but
that was
the real Ghostbusters. They call.
Because I love the animation in that. It was always kind of really. It's got that like a American anime or something like that. But it was also and then like I told you like in a text earlier, I saw the second one last night.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, we're gonna be talking about Ghostbusters today. I got to research. And well, also with the new movie coming out that ties into both of those movies, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah, it is cool because like in the first movie, there's actually a lot of lore that they set up, I guess, for the new one that's coming. There's little Easter eggs hidden, which is really neat to discover that. But yeah, I had my first outfit when I was 3. Had my little outfit, Ghostbuster suit, had the proton pack, running around. There's a picture of me somewhere. But now my kids, they like it. My 2-year-old right now, he's about to be 3. He's obsessed with it. He runs around the house in his outfit. It's great. I'm glad that they're going to see this all come again, like in theater. They've got new toy line coming out. It's awesome.
Yeah, I was kind of that was kind of like how I was as a kid, but with Godzilla. Like, my mom like sewed me a Godzilla costume, and I was like maybe like 4 when I wore it, but it was like really it had like the little spikes in the back and everything too.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah, but but I'm actually really excited that the new Ghostbusters film, Ghostbusters Afterlife, is. I mean, not only does it tie in with the first two, and it's directed by you said it was the son of the original director.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's more family ties because it's going to feature like the family of like Ray and Pete and everything. And not only that, it's like that they were like, oh man, it's like they had the Geeks Attic in mind when they made this movie because now it's filmed in our home state.
Yes, I know. It's awesome. Which I've never heard of the town that they did. I'm pretty sure they're making that town up because I haven't found it on a map.
Yeah, I was actually wondering, like, I know it's filmed in Oklahoma, but I was curious. I was trying to look this up here. Like, I didn't know if it was like being, like, if it's going to take place in Oklahoma or.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But the fact that it was filmed in Oklahoma is just like we're like go team, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so the son, Jason Reitman, was in Ghostbusters 2. He's the kid at the birthday party that comes up to Ray and Winston and says, "My dad tells me you guys suck." He's that kid. So.
I felt so bad for them in that scene. I'm just like, oh, come on, like, because they saved the city, and then you find out like throughout the next 5 years they get sued and they're under indictment, and you're like, oh my gosh, like really?
Yeah.
And
to tie it into like Star Wars, that I just found this out. I don't know how I never knew this, but in Ghostbusters 2, the villain Vigo, the guy that's in the painting, the voice is not the actor that's playing that character. It's it's Max von Sydow, who just died, who was in Force Awakens.
Lor Santeca.
Yeah. So that blew me away, which was pretty interesting.
I didn't know that either. I guess I should have stayed for the end credits, but
so it just shows that I never watched the credits either. So I mean, I've been a fan forever and never paid attention. So that was pretty funny today to find that out.
So I was going to ask, what are you hoping for with the 2020 movie?
I hope that it is respectful to the original. It doesn't get carried away with stupid storylines, doesn't try to overdo things that aren't necessary. The comedies, like that dry humor, like the originals. I definitely want it to have tie-ins, like lore that connects to some of the characters, which I think it will, because it's the family and like the guy who was trying to resurrect Gozer, the Gozer followers, the worshippers. They mentioned Ivo Shandor, okay, who like designed the building that Gozer and everything was going on, everything was happening. In the Afterlife trailer, they go into the Shandor mines. Oh, you see the name on the big gate. It says Shandor Mines. So it's like that. Oh, is that the mine where the guy gathered the materials to make this antenna that brought in all the supernatural stuff in New York?
I'll have to rewatch that because I've only seen the trailer like once, and I'll have to go back and rewatch it now. But
I hope they use puppet work too on certain things, because I love the visual effects stuff these days is pretty cool. But I would also like to see some, what do they call that? Puppet work,
puppeteering, or that's kind of they did that with, and going back to Star Wars, they did that in The Last Jedi with Yoda. And I guess that was for Mark Hamill though, but because that's how he was introduced to Yoda. But but anyway, I'm hoping that, like it's not overdone with like Easter eggs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, or like, as you mentioned, like, too many references to the original. Like, I kind of want to see like an original story without having to be like, oh, yeah, they said that in the first one. Like,
repeat the same type of jokes. Yeah, I could do without that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay if the new characters, like if they're about to fight a ghost, be like, light it up, but I'd be okay with something like that. But I'd also, I don't know. I know that both the movies started off with the Ghostbusters theme. Bernstein's.
Oh yes. See, I hope they get Bernstein back, Elmer Bernstein.
Oh yeah.
The original score to the first movie is incredible.
Yeah.
The second movie, the score to that is good too, but they don't have the that available to purchase anywhere. I think the original tracks were lost. I mean, I'm not
Oh,
talking
really?
about the soundtrack that has all the singing and the bands and stuff, but like the actual music is
So
gone.
so the soundtrack is gone from the second one?
Hmm.
Oh, geez, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's no classical score anywhere.
Yeah, I did take a film music class in college. That was part of my major, and it was when we learned about Elmer Bernstein, and
Mhm.
he was a classical type, film composer, and then he writes, one of the most catchiest songs or theme songs in history.
Yeah,
I mean, like there was times I've like on my lunch breaks at my old jobs and everything. Like I played it. Like that's like a song that you could play. Everybody joins in, and
yeah,
it's kind of like Sweet Caroline when they sing Sweet Caroline. They're like da da da. It's just.
yeah.
But yeah, I hope Leonard Bernstein comes back for that too. I'm glad they did that with like John Williams with the Star Wars film. So I'm
Mhm.
hoping that they do
Yeah,
that with the Ghostbusters as well.
yeah.
Did they did they kind of reveal like who the villain might be, or is
No, but I'm thinking if it ties in with if it does have that Evo Shandor, I I kind of would like to see the return of Gozer. I would
mm-hmm,
like to see some destruction happen.
mm-hmm.
Like what was Gozer gonna do when she got here? And they say like I thought Gozer was a man. I was like it's whatever it wants to be. Uh, then it turns out the destructor comes as a giant marshmallow man. So what are they gonna do to make it things not goofy? Because they've always said like that Ghostbusters is like it's all the genres of film. It's got horror, it's got
Mm-hmm.
comedy, it's got action, it's sci-fi, it's fantasy, it's got the romance in it. It's got everything all in one.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of it's literally a jack of all trades,
Yeah.
and we were talking at lunch one day. You said that if you ever meet Ernie Hudson again, you would get him to say something as an intro for your channel.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, I thought of something, and like I gotta tell him. And so now's probably a good time. You should next time if you ever meet him, you should get him to say like, if someone asks you if you should subscribe to the Geeks Attic,
You
you
say
say
yes.
yes.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect.
Yeah, I should have met him when I was at Comic Con. Like he was just standing right there, and I was just like, well, let's see. There's Ernie Hudson, Kevin Conroy, and Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still kick myself. I mean, it was nice to meet Lou Ferrigno, but I'm like, man, there's Batman right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and
It's
Dark. Oh, go ahead.
you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and I was just like, also Darth Maul was there, Ray Park, and I'm like,
That's cool.
and I met Lou Ferrigno in one of the Power Rangers, and that was it. So,
Oh yeah.
hmm
That's something I was never into. Stupid to
yeah,
get into.
I liked Power Rangers more as a kid, but I kind of just it just as I got older, I was just like, yeah. I mean, I watched a little bit of it in college just for old time's sake. But
Yeah,
I mean,
nostalgia.
yeah, my friend Olin is actually a big Power Rangers fan. I mean, he's an actor, and he's actually campaigning to play the Green Ranger someday. He always
Oh.
hashtags like Olin for Green Ranger, and I actually got the Red Ranger to say it on a video for him, and that was actually
Oh,
pretty cool. And
that's awesome.
but he got the endorsement from the Green Ranger himself, Jason David Frank. So,
Okay.
but also for the Ghostbusters film, I'm hoping that Slimer comes back.
Oh yeah, he will.
Yeah.
He'll have to.
Okay, so I have a question for you. I remember as a kid watching, was there like a series of Ghostbusters where Slimer was kind of the main character?
He was in the real Ghostbusters cartoon. He was like their pet, pretty much. He was in every episode, always getting them into trouble, doing crazy things.
I
So,
Because I
but yeah, I
thought
know they had another cartoon like long after the real Ghostbusters. I think it was like Ghostbusters Extreme or something, but I think it was so short lived, like, because I'd never heard of it until after the fact, and after it was like canceled or finished up, and I had never hear anybody talk about it. I've never looked into it. I just know that they had something. I don't even. Maybe there wasn't a cartoon. Maybe it was just a toy line. I don't know.
mm-hmm.
So
Because I do remember that the watching the cartoon as a kid, and Slimer was like very prominent in it, or
mhm.
like in it more than I remember. And
Yeah,
what? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
there might be like a couple episodes with him basically that's like the main character. Maybe you
Mhm.
saw those, but yeah, he's in all those scenes pretty much, just right beside them all the time.
Yeah, I was also thinking, like, as I was watching the last one or the second one last night, I really hope he's in it as even if it's a cameo appearance, it'll be great. I kinda wanna see Rick Moranis come back.
Oh, I know. I'm not getting my hopes up,
Me
but
neither. I heard he retired from
mhm,
acting. I think it was
yeah,
for personal family reasons. I'm not entirely sure, but if
yeah,
I mean, he had to do what he had to do, but,
yeah. His
I
wife had passed, and he wanted to take care of the
oh,
kids. So
okay. Well, yeah, I definitely understand.
yeah,
Yeah, I reckon I didn't know that that's what happened,
mhm,
but yeah, I'd like for him to come back, but I mean, if he doesn't, it's all good. I mean, even if they mention him, that'd be fine with me, but
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, the fans to the Ghostbusters, they are crazy. There are tons of them out there, and they are hardcore. Just like the Star Wars stuff, like the Batman stuff, DC,
mm,
Marvel. But yeah, these people develop their own props. It's insane. I'm actually trying to make my own as well. It's in a box back there behind me, um, somewhere back there, that yellow top, if you can see it. But I've got the wand for the proton pack.
mhm.
I haven't started on the actual pack yet, which I need to. But it's a slow going process.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are more dedicated than me. Like the most that I have ever did for a costume was like I bought a green little cardigan, I think.
Mhm.
And because I went as the Riddler one year for Halloween, and I spray painted a yellow question mark on it. But everything else was like I got a green bowler hat from
Yeah,
the store. I got the Riddler cane, and everything else I just kind of put together myself. But
yeah,
I'm just like, but then I see all these cosplayers, and they just have like I don't know where they get all this stuff or how they
yeah,
make it, but
yeah. It's pretty tough. I've got the whole outfit. It seems like each year, every other year, I add to it. I've got the flight suit, I've got the patch, my name tag, the elbow pads, the belt with different accessories for it, like the PKE meter, the goggles, the walkie-talkie. It's crazy.
that's awesome.
Yeah, try to get it accurate, but I'm not going to be 100% screen accurate. I don't. It's whatever.
I mean, even if it's not 100% accurate, people are gonna know, like,
Yeah,
oh, he's a
yeah,
Ghostbuster,
yeah,
and
yeah,
uh, man, it's just also at Comic Cons. Like I've seen people dress up as like Ghostbusters, and like even though that you can clearly know that those their proton packs and their wands are fake. I mean, like the security for those Comic Cons is
mhm,
like they had like the one I went to, they had a police officer inspecting everything that was considered to be a like even if it was a toy lightsaber
yeah,
that was clearly a toy, they still had to inspect it and
yeah.
like but but yeah,
Yeah,
I
there.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, there was one of the cartoons. I know that they basically made it seem like the cartoon was the real, like, because the show was called The Real Ghostbusters, but they had a show where it was like a two-part episode where they went to the set to where of the actual film Ghostbusters.
Oh, really?
So like, yeah, and it's like that's not even who I am. Like, it was really funny because it was like they're switching the roles there. Like, oh, they're the real ones. The movie's the fake ones based off of the show. It was comical.
I saw something like that in a Spider-Man comic one time. They were making a film about Spider-Man, and this is like in the universe where he exists, and he is and Spider-Man is appalled by this. And
Mm.
on the set, Tobey Maguire is actually in it, and he's just like complaining about how the mask is uncomfortable and everything, and then Spider-Man just swings in and stares at Tobey Maguire and just goes, "You suck, man." I was just like, "Oh my gosh, that."
Wow.
But
The
but
fact
yeah.
that Harold Ramis isn't going to be in it, that bothers me. But I mean, he passed away, so
Now remind me, who did he play again?
Egon, the
Oh,
smart one.
yeah, the one that was kind of like he. I remember him say like, "My parents didn't believe in toys," you know.
That cracks every time. It's like, you mean you never even had a slinky? Part of one. But I straightened it.
I love that.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that he won't be in it, but I
Yeah.
didn't know that he passed away. And like I said, I've just recently followed this stuff, but I
Yeah.
do like it. I really do enjoy it. And I was kind of like you when I saw that they were remaking the Ghostbusters. I was just like,
Yeah. No, pass.
nope. That's
Yeah. I did read the novelization though.
yeah. I remember you saying that.
It was horrible.
Ooh,
Yeah. There's a great review of that on my channel too, by the way.
I actually haven't seen that one yet. I'll go check it
Yeah,
out after.
I think you'll get a kick out of that one. And when I say that, you'll understand that later too. When I say you get a kick out of it.
Well, I'll go check it out after we're done here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think let's go ahead and we mentioned DC and like the Riddler and everything, so I guess that's a good segue into talk about one of the biggest and another anticipated film coming up, and that is Matt Reeves' Batman or the Batman coming out in 2021. Now, yeah, that started off. People were like, because they find out, ooh, Robert Pattinson's going to be Batman after they find out like it's no longer tied to the DCE or it's no longer tied to the Justice League movies, and Ben Affleck's no longer involved, and because this movie was in like production like for a while, like or pre-production because like Ben Affleck wanted to star and direct, and then they said no, or things changed. Then he wanted to just star, and that didn't work out either, and then Henry Cavill left Superman, and it's just all kind of went downhill. And
I pulled up pictures to look at here of the new stuff because like I don't really have anything against that. What's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I don't have anything against him because I never cared about the Twilight stuff, and I haven't seen him in anything else. So
I haven't either. And at first, I actually made a Facebook post. Whenever I found out Robert Pattinson was Batman, I shared it, and then I wrote, I blame the Thanos snap.
Yeah. It was so powerful it reset the DC universe.
Yeah, and so one of my friends actually said, hey, I think you should give it a shot. He's actually a really good actor, outside of Twilight, because that's just what a lot of, so it's like, well, okay, that's fair. I'll give him a shot. And
yeah, I mean, that's what people said about Heath Ledger's Joker. Like when they announced that before the internet really got crazy, people were complaining like, oh, we're going to get that guy. He's just a romantic comedy actor. Still one of the best roles ever.
Yeah, that was great. And I mean, and Walking Phoenix, I mean, I didn't think that he was going to be able to top it, but he didn't top it because he did it in his own way, and I really liked that.
Right. It was a completely different style of character, different world completely.
But I do like that this movie is going to have like a few rogues gallery. Like it's already confirmed Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin, and there was actually like a set photo of him, like it shows him like with whitish hair, and it looked like he put on a little bit of weight. But some people were speculating that was like him behind the scenes or something like that. But I think he kind of denied that. And then we have Catwoman, played by Zoe Kravitz. I think it's Lenny Kravitz's daughter. And we also have the main villain, which is the Riddler, and there is like somewhere out there where it's a picture of this victim that was murdered, and he's like wrapped up in like a medical
tape.
Gauze. Yeah, and then it shows like a question mark on it or something, or like a riddle on it, and like Carmine Falcone, the mob boss, is in it, and it's. And Matt Reeves, like normally, like they don't like show the bat suit or like anything about the film until like later on. But I mean, we've already now seen, the new bat suit. Go ahead.
I'm looking at it right now. I pulled it up on the next screen, and I think it looks pretty cool. The chest piece is interesting. It looks like blades, I guess, like on the outside of his chest, like and the grips are on the inside. He could pull them out, and
I thought that they were like like that was like a new way of like batarangs. Like instead of having to reach for his belt, he could just easily,
yeah.
And there's actually a rumor going around that's supposed that metal on his logo on his chest is supposed to be made from the gun that killed his parents. and because that was actually in a Kevin Smith comic, and I can't remember who illustrated it, but Bruce Wayne actually bought the gun that killed his parents, like in a underground pawn shop, and he melted it and you put it underneath his suit for the armor. And
Yeah.
so I was wondering if that was what they were going with.
Huh.
Yeah, I do like this suit. I was at some point I heard that before they revealed it that it was going to be Matt Reeves. I think said it's going to be an updated version of Adam West's suit with the blue and the gray.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I was hoping that that's what it was going to be. I'm wanting to see a blue and gray Batman, that 70s style.
That would be cool. Maybe that's why they when they revealed it was under red light, so you can't really see.
That is true. I mean, it could still very well. Well, actually, they released the stunt double performing in this suit. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
And he, like, the bike fell over the motorcycle.
Yeah, and the mask is. They showed pictures, and the mask is like all horrible looking, but you can tell that it's not Pattinson's.
Yeah, they'll clean it up. I'm sure it was for the more protected like helmet for the stunt guy when he was riding the bike.
Yeah, and like when you look at the pictures of like the Batmobile or something like that, you can see Pattinson in the bat suit, and it looks the cowl, the mask looks a little different. So
yeah,
but they did also. There's also a rumor that there's going to be 2 bat suits in this. So maybe the one he's wearing, he kind of starts out with, and as he goes, he upgrades it, and he just decides that like, hey, I like this look better or something. Or
the car looks really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that next. I do like the Batmobile. It's very inconspicuous.
Mm-hmm. Very muscular, like a muscle car.
Yeah. And it's just when I see that, it's hard being Batman because like with all this equipment and everything, like it's like okay, yes, somebody has to have a lot of money to be able to have this. And I mean, even in the comics, they're like, I wonder if Bruce Wayne's Batman. I mean, it takes a lot of money to afford all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, with this car, I mean, it still looked like someone with a lot of money put it together. But it's also like I could see it does look a little bit, what's
grungy.
Vintage. Yeah, grungy and retro, and I can kind of see that like him just trying to kind of keep a low profile, and because this Batmobile can blend in a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
And like it's like if the Joker was like, in a getaway car, like you could see like the Batmobiles that we've seen, like whether it's Keaton's or Christian Bale's or Affleck's, like you could see those cars coming like a mile away.
Yeah. Yeah.
or hear them coming a mile away.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I'm really excited about this new Batmobile. Like I like that the engine is in the back. It kind of makes a little bit more sense for the fire to kind of like.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't have the Batmobile without that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've also heard that there's going to be rumors that this is also going to introduce Robin. Because I saw on a YouTube channel there was like a leak that there was a casting call for circus performers, and like with circus performers that could mean Dick Grayson, the Flying Graysons, and that'd be kind of interesting. And I mean. Should we have Robin in this film? Probably not this one, but this movie is supposed to be a series, or this version. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I understand. It all really depends on how they bring it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, doesn't this movie it's supposed to take place in what, the 90s or 80s?
I haven't heard for sure, honestly.
I thought that was rumored, maybe like 88 or something. Like I could be making that up completely, but.
Yeah, I mean, I could see maybe early 90s because I was wondering at first if this is supposed to tie into the Joker film.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Because, I mean, that took place in 70s?
It was 1981.
81, okay. I mean, how old would Bruce be?
He'd probably be early 20s if it took place in the 90s. Bruce Wayne was probably like maybe 10 to 12 years old in that film or something.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that would be kind of an interesting take too, because I love that movie.
Yeah, it was a really good movie, and I was just kind of curious, like, if this is supposed to be the real Joker, like, and he meets Bruce Wayne as a kid, how old is he when he first meets Batman? Because it looks like he's in his late 30s, maybe early
Hmm.
40s. And if Bruce Wayne is still a kid and he's probably not going to become Batman again for another 10 to 15 years, he'll probably be in his 60s by the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's like old enough to be his dad.
Yeah. um, yeah. And that was also a unique twist, a possible twist, like Thomas Wayne possibly being the Joker's dad.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know what I thought about that. I'm kind of glad that they confirmed that, or they somewhat confirmed that he may have not been.
Yeah, she was just a crazy old woman.
Yeah, and when you find out what happened to him, like, oh my gosh, that was horrible.
Brutal.
And I honestly kind of like that though for this reason only, because when he goes through his records and he finds out like all the abuse he went through as a kid, he also finds out that his name is not really Arthur Fleck, like or that that's not his original name because he was adopted as a kid.
Mhm.
So because the Joker could be anybody, and like his actual real name was never revealed, and so that's the only part of that scene that I liked. I mean, I didn't the stuff he went through was horrible, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But
Yeah.
I like that how that was used to kind of go towards his past about how, even he's not who he thinks he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I was really pleased with that movie. When it comes to the Batmobile,
Mm-hmm.
which one is your favorite?
Oh, Keaton.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
I love that Batmobile, and I loved that they brought in an Arkham Knight. I know you never played that, but maybe like some point just YouTube it. But they have maps or
Mhm.
challenges in Arkham Knight where you can run through or drive through the cities of Tim Burton's Gotham
Oh, that's cool.
as for like in a race and everything, and you drive through like the Joker's parade and the Penguin's like giant duck and everything. I and you can even play as the Keaton bat suit, and I love that.
Yeah.
That's actually one of oh man, I just that's my favorite movie actually of all time.
All time.
Yeah, all time favorite
Okay.
movie.
All right.
I've always loved. It's all nostalgic. I always loved the music and the cinematography, and it was also came out the year I was born. So
Did you have any of the toys?
I did. I did, but I remember one of them being in my grandparents' lake house out at Lake Texoma, and I never saw it again after that. It was like 5 the last time I saw it.
Mm.
But that was like the only toy of it that I had.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of intrigued on like how this movie is definitely going to be a very different approach.
Yeah.
Because
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. And it kind of looks like it's going back to its gothic type roots.
Yes.
Because Christopher Nolan's Batman did not have.
It was neat to me, but I don't see why people loved it so much, like that trilogy, because especially the third one for me was the biggest flop of a Batman movie in my opinion, because it seemed like that was the rise of Skywalker for Batman. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like you had the Dark Knight, and then it was like one of the coolest Joker movies, and then what happens next? Oh well, Batman disappears for a while. Somebody takes over a city. You can't understand what he says. And then all of a sudden, here comes Batman again.
Yeah,
I wasn't too pleased with it, but
that was the most reckless we've ever seen Batman, because
yeah.
he just kind of went into it like not really caring. Like he just assumed like, I beat Ra's al Ghul, I can beat up Bane. He's a punk. Then he was mistaken.
Yeah.
And he got the best spine treatment in that film I've ever seen. Like, I mean, he got punched in the back and like, oh, my back's healed.
It was like when blind people get hit in the face, like, oh, I can see again.
I was just like, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it getting hit really hard in the back that got you into this mess in the first place?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to read the novelization of the Dark Knight Rises, because they actually reveal like what happened to the Joker.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. Like it doesn't go into too much depth of it. I did hear about it, but it was been a while since I've read about it. But I want to read it again and kind of and because it does mention the Joker. Like,
Well, just to let you know, the half price books up in on May and 63rd.
yeah, I saw.
They have it there.
Yeah, I saw it. I was gonna get it, but I'm like, it was like I had a budget, and I'm like, I should probably just stick to Batman and Batman Returns. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I did just get the '98 Godzilla novelization there. So
Good. So what are you gonna do next? Are you gonna go to Batman Returns and read that one?
I'm planning to make a film about, or not a film, a video on my channel about kind of
The comparison.
of Batman the movie and the novelization, because I also have it's not up here with me, but it's over there. But I have the graphic novelization of it, and
Okay.
and so I might do a comparison of all three, and then after I'm done with that, I was thinking about doing Batman Returns for around Christmas.
Okay.
Because it's actually my favorite Christmas film. So,
I guess, yeah, that's funny. I would love to. They have I didn't know they had a novel or a graphic novelization of it, like a comic.
yeah, it's actually pretty good. And
Is it like a little tiny booklet type thing, or is it the thick, big, like trade paperback style?
it's like the thick. It's not like really thick like that, but it's just like.
I guess I could look it up. I've got a monitor right here.
I mean, I can probably grab it real quick.
Okay, yeah,
Get
sure. I like Batman. Batman's pretty cool. But Superman, I could do without Superman. And I see Adam wearing a Superman shirt. I could do without it. Oh,
You talking crap about me?
I was talking smack about Superman.
Yeah, my brother's a big Superman fan, and I actually do like the shirts. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to get the one with the Kingdom Come logo on it.
Yeah.
But
It's funny. As I was saying it, my wife, she's sitting at her computer across from me, and I said, Superman sucks.
He's one of my favorites.
And it's one of her favorites. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got pretty good artwork.
Wow.
Let me see if I can bring myself up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. See, there's the last.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And there's the Joker right there.
That's outside the parade.
Yep, and I think that's the chemical. Excess chemical scene. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna do a little speed read of that one real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me bring you back up here. There we go.
That's awesome. I wonder if that one's a pretty hard one to find.
I found it at half price book, so probably not. And it was like $3.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, it's by Dennis O'Neil and Jerry Ordway.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. My brother is such a big Superman fan that when the Justice League came out, there was a lot. You saw Batman v Superman, right? And you know what happened to him at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, like he was like really intrigued to see like how this was like, because they were supposed to be theoretically bringing back Superman back from life or back from the dead, and high quality autism.
Oh, he's here?
Yeah, he's here.
Awesome.
And thanks for joining us, man. And I texted him and said, "Hey, me and Kelsey are about to go see Justice League," and his only response was, "No spoilers or you die."
It's funny. Well, hey, I brought it up on Amazon, the Batman, the 1989 movie adaptation, deluxe edition, hardcover.
Oh, nice. How much is it?
It's $14.95.
That's not bad.
No, I guess it came out November 26th, 2019.
Oh, it came out that recent?
Yeah. Wow. So it must have been like what year was that? 2019. So it's 30-year anniversary.
Yes, that does make sense. I actually, speaking of which, I actually saw a deleted scene of Batman 1989, and one of those deleted scenes was in the book, so I won't spoil it too much.
Okay.
But they changed it for the film. But how they changed it in the film would have set up Robin's origin.
Okay.
And if you look at it on YouTube, they actually have Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill like voicing Keaton and Nicholson's Batman and Joker.
That's neat.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping, but with the Batman 2021 coming out, it's going to be, it's kind of like another version of how we've had a different actor passing on the torch for the Joker. It's, I mean, well, you know what I mean? Like we've had, Jared Leto, and then now we have Joaquin Phoenix. We're finally getting a new Riddler.
Yeah.
Like, and the only one, go ahead.
Is it like what you said? You saw a picture or something of one of the characters for the new movie wrapped in like gauze.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that when we first got the Joker reveal in '89 Batman? He was completely covered in hands and face, and he's like unwinding it, right?
Yeah.
That was the nurse doing it and too slow, and he just like takes away the mirror and does it himself or something.
He's like, mirror.
Yeah. I need to rewatch that. But
Yeah,
recently on my channel, I believe you watched it, was I did an unboxing of or unwrapping of some original Topps 1989 Batman cards.
Yeah, I saw that. I really enjoyed that. I was like, I never even knew those existed, and
has the gum in them still too.
I know. I'm still gonna give the offers still up for if you eat it, I'll give you $5.
Okay, it's funny. I love that Quality Autism's new profile picture. Sidious with the glasses.
Yeah, he actually asked who the Riddler is, and I'm actually gonna look that up for him.
Okay.
I think it's Paul. It's something Paul. Let me see. Paul Dano. That's what it was. That's Let me see what else he's been in. He's been in like Little Miss Sunshine. Oh wait, is this that guy I'm thinking of? Oh yeah, have you seen Little Miss Sunshine?
One time, a long time ago.
I think he's playing that. He's playing Dwayne. He's that kid that didn't talk for half the movie.
The guy from There Will Be Blood.
I think so.
Yeah, I know who this guy is. He was in some movie recently with the guy that played Harry Potter. He's like trying to get off an island. I think.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, like he was he was dead in the movie, and this guy Paul Dano, I think Swiss Army Man. Yeah, he was in that movie.
Yeah, that's who's playing the Riddler.
Okay.
And he kind of looks. I think he'll do pretty good. He kind of has that nerdy.
Yeah.
I remember him. Yeah, Quality Autism remembers him from Swiss Army Man too.
Okay. I never saw that movie. It looked funny, but I didn't see it.
I don't think I've ever seen it either. It had Daniel Radcliffe in it, right? Or the Harry Potter guy, or
yeah.
Okay.
The Alfred is going to be Andy Serkis.
Yeah, I was actually intrigued by that because a lot of people were thinking like it would make more sense for him to play the Penguin and Colin Farrell to play Alfred.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can see Andy Serkis being Alfred because they're going for that. Because in some comics, Alfred was never supposed to be the butler. He was supposed, and in one comic, he was hired by Thomas Wayne to be his head of security because Thomas Wayne met him while Alfred was in the British Special Forces or British Forces, and he actually in that comic he actually teaches Batman how to fight and everything, but then you find out that Thomas Wayne, when he died, he left Bruce Wayne. He left Alfred as the legal guardian, and he's just like, "Well, I've never raised a kid before. Like, how am I going to do this?" And he goes up to Bruce. He's like, "Hi," and he's like, and Bruce is like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm your butler." Yeah, that's what we're called. I'm your butler.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think he'll do pretty good. He's been getting into a lot of roles now where he's not doing CGI work or motion capture. Like, because Snoke's dead.
Yeah, he's wanting to. Yeah, he's just showing his full talent range, which is good.
Yeah, and he's very good. I mean, like not only he's a good actor, and I mean, um, yes, it is the Earth One comic, Quality Autism. I read that it looked like it was going to be a good series, and then they stopped it. So as far as I know, they did. But yeah, are there any other upcoming movies or books that you're kind of excited for, Matthew?
For books, well, I don't. I took the dust jacket off of the current book that I'm reading. It's not really anything to do with nerddom, but here's the book without the dust jacket. It comes out in April. Sorry, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires.
Oh, nice.
It's written by Grady Hendrix, who wrote a couple other books. They're all horror books, but they're not too bad. They're not like scary things. They're great. He did My Best Friend's Exorcism is one of my favorite books that I've ever read. It's the only book that ever made me get a little teary eyed. He does such a great job writing character. It's incredible. And so far, this book, I got it last week. I'm over halfway through already, so I'm a really slow reader. But this one has me like I'm burning through the pages on that one. It's great. It's funny because it even has like a fake stamp on it. Sorry.
Oh, nice. Public library.
Yeah, and the inside it's got this graphic with like little flowers and coffins, which is pretty funny. But yeah, he did another book called We Sold Our Souls, which is basically like a rock band who had sold their souls, and the lead singer didn't. She's trying to stop this band from trying to resurrect Satan, pretty much. So it's cool.
It sounds like a pretty interesting book.
Yeah, this one I definitely, so far, I'm recommending that one. When it comes out, you should read it.
Yeah. And you pre-ordered it, right? Or
no, I got the review. This is a review copy. I got.
Oh, like they just sent you so you can review it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which is awesome. So I'm really happy with that one. And then when I get done with that, going back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe with old Rogue Planet. Been working on that one for over a year.
You'll finish it eventually.
Yeah. So I gotta just, once I get to that one, I'm gonna read it, get it over with, so I can move on to this one.
Hey, I know that book.
So yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. So
yeah, well, thank you again for ordering that. And my wife really does appreciate that. My wife actually wrote that book, Locked, and for our viewers, and she's a fantastic author. She's done book signings with that book, and that book actually made the paper one time.
That's really cool. I saw a post from her page, I believe it was today, that she's about to meet her goal for her next book. So she's probably on target for a December release. Yeah, she's since becoming parents, we've had a little time to do, I mean, but we've things are kind of finally slowing down a little bit. Our daughter's getting older, and she's learning to entertain herself a little bit more, so she doesn't require us to hold her every now and then. So she's finally getting a chance to write and everything, and she's excited. She's working on a sequel to one of her books, and she's hoping to have that out really soon. So that's awesome. There is another book coming out in September, I think. It's a World of Warcraft book. I guess they have a new expansion coming out, which I don't play the game anymore, but I do like reading the books. They fill that little gap. So I'm looking forward to that one. And here's something random. The Book of Romans. I just started reading that.
Oh, yeah.
In the New Testament. So that's a good one.
Yeah, your channel also does Bible reviews.
I do. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I know it's not for everybody. It seems like whenever I do one, I get those review copies to review, and there's always the thumbs down that happens like immediately after I post it. So someone out there's just like that. Well, this guy, I'll teach him. I'll give him a thumbs down. I don't care. That thumbs down needs it more than anybody else.
Well, hey man, as a Christian myself, I show full support for what you're doing there. So
thank you.
And don't ever let anybody tell you different. So
yes. Hey, Quality Autism says he asked a question, I think.
Yeah, let's see what he said here. He said, if every Legends book takes you over a year to read, you will be 80 and still not done.
Yes.
Dang, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
At that point, it'll be the Geeks retirement home. So
Yeah. It's funny. It's true. But I do. I don't know what it is about the Rogue Planet that's taking me so long to get through. Last year the new canon stuff was putting out so much, like every other month, and I'm pretty sure it's going to slow down a little bit this year. So I'm ready to knock out Rogue Planet, locked, and then back to the EU with Outbound Flight. It's a Timothy Zahn book. So
yeah, I got a lot to read too. Like, I actually had to put what I was reading aside so I can work on Batman.
Mm.
Like, I'm reading the Darth Bane trilogy right now, and I'm still on the second one. I got, like, in Audible terms, like 5 hours left.
Yeah.
So I'm almost more than halfway done with the book, and I jeez, what was I gonna say? It was and then I got this book called Enemies and Allies by Kevin J. Anderson. That's about Batman and Superman meeting in the 1950s. And I got Batman Nightfall, and I got Batman Returns, and Godzilla, and the other Godzilla novelizations I'm hoping to do. It's just in comic books. It's just man.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I know I've got a lot of comics that I need to read too, but it's just like those are on hold until I could knock a chunk out of the EU.
Yeah, comics are pretty easy to get through, like in like a couple hours. Like I remember reading Batman: The Long Halloween, which, by the way, going back to Batman, I heard is supposed to be based off of the movie. Is supposed to take some inspiration from The Long Halloween, from what I remember.
I think I have that one.
It's good. I recommend it. Now, they actually do make novelizations of some Batman graphic novels like Nightfall and No Man's Land, and Half Price Books has those, so maybe.
Yeah, see, I do have a Batman book. I think it's called Batman Murders.
Yeah, the murder mystery things or something.
Which I haven't read that. I don't know when I will.
It was hard for me to read a Batman book because I'm so used to reading the comics. Like, I want to see Batman punching somebody. It's just, not like, and then I get like a chapter like, and Batman thrusted forward, throwing his fist with full force at Bane's mouth or something like that. It was like, yeah, can you show that, please? Or
yeah. I mean, the cover to that book is really the reason I had it. It's the Batman Murders is what it's called. It's like the little ears on the bat suit stick up pretty far, and they're like curved in like horns. And his suit is blue and gray on the cover.
Yeah, that's the Batman we deserve and what we want.
Craig Shaw Gardner is the author.
Oh, really? That's
He's written some other things. I recognize his name.
He wrote the novelizations for Batman and Batman Returns.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. So he knows the character pretty well then.
Yeah. Quality Autism says, well, Rogue Planet is indeed very boring, but wait till you get to Approaching Storm, even worse.
Oh, I know. There's that expanded. Talk about Star Wars for just 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Expanded Universe website is doing an author tournament where it's like a poll. Everybody creates the bracket, and you just vote on the author. And Greg Bear, the author of Rogue Planet, is not on the brackets. And I told Matt, I was like, I understand that guy's on par with that Vonda who wrote The Crystal Star.
I saw that at Half Price Books, and every time I see it now, I laugh.
Yeah. Was there a novelization for Batman and Robin? Yes. I had it in my hand at one point, and I put it back on the shelf, and I regret it.
Oh, really?
I do have. Yeah, I wanted to have. I love the Batman movies, and that was one that I don't remember really at all. The Batman and Robin movie, but I thought it'd be cool to have them all in novelization. I have the Batman Forever novelization.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good idea for a. Me and you should just hang out sometime. We'll put on Batman and Robin because I remember pretty well, and I kind of want to film your reaction.
Yeah. I mean, there's Batman and Batman Returns,
Batman Forever,
and then Batman and Robin.
And
what was after that?
Batman and Robin was early '90s, and I remember liking it as a kid. But then as I got older, I was just like,
That was the one with
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, but who was playing Batman?
George Clooney,
When did what's his name from?
Val
Oh,
Kilmer.
yeah. Which movie was he?
He was Batman Forever.
Okay, that one
Yeah,
had the Riddler, right?
yeah. Jim Carrey as the Riddler, and Tommy Lee Jones as Two Face, and Chris
Okay.
O'Donnell as Robin.
It's been such a long time since I've seen these movies.
Yeah, I watched Batman Forever around Halloween because that's when it's kind of set around that time in one scene. And a fun fact about that though, Christian Bale auditioned to play Robin in Batman Forever,
That would have been weird.
and he does not. He did not want Robin in the Nolan series, and it was just funny because I was just like, is it because it undermines the tone, or is this because you didn't get Robin and you're still upset? I'm like, dude, you're Batman now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Robin suit. I'm looking at it. Pulled up when I typed in Batman Forever. It looks pretty cool. It's like that metallic green and red and gold.
hmm And then you can see in Batman and Robin, they kind of go for that Nightwing type appearance, like where it's just a plain black or bluish suit with a red bird in the middle of it.
Hmm.
The villains in the two Schumacher Batmans were horrible. Yeah, I really, I'm still. I saw what Tim Burton's Batman Forever would look like, and I'm so sad we didn't get it because it would have had Billy D. Williams returning as Harvey Dent,
Right.
and I think Robin Williams was supposed to play the Riddler, but it's just and and then they just kind of went in a different direction, and I'm just like, it wasn't the same after that, but it's all tied together. It's just like,
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah, Gotham eventually became this like new, like it looked like a giant rave party took there every Saturday night.
Yeah, a bunch of neon lights and glow
Yeah,
sticks.
and bat nipples and
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just, it wasn't the same anymore. But I was, yeah, and with bat nipples, yeah, quality autism. Um, um, it was just I just really wish it. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I'll have to go back and read, but or what I saw it on a YouTube video. But they also had plans for a sequel to Batman and Robin, where the Scarecrow was going to be the villain.
Hmm.
And it was going to be called Batman Triumphant or Batman Unchained or something like that. And it was what I saw of it would have been horrible, and I'm glad they never made it. But Nicolas Cage was going to be the Scarecrow,
Ugh.
and Jack Nicholson was going to return though in a cameo appearance, like after Batman was doused with Scarecrow toxin. He was going to hallucinate seeing the Joker, and Harley Quinn was going to be in it, but she was going to be Joker's, long lost daughter or something like that.
That's crazy.
I know, almost like they dodged a bullet by rebooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just bring in Christian Bale. I would. Oh my gosh! I mean, that's that type of movie that you would just like you would vent about on the internet for 2 hours,
Yeah.
just about how bad it is. That would be like the Jaws Revenge of the Batman series.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mind from Batman v Superman. I didn't like the movie really. I didn't, but I thought Ben Affleck was the best part.
Yeah, it was a new gritty.
Hmm.
This Batman was different. He actually killed people in this.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
which I thought was pretty cool. He's like no nonsense. Like I'm taking you out.
yeah. And I kind of wonder what happened. Like, I mean, we see Robin's costume like in the Batcave, and I kind of wonder if like maybe when Robin died, he kind of lost that whole,
Mm. Yeah,
I kind of want to see Nicolas Cage or Willem Dafoe playing a Batman villain. Now they actually do have some art of Willem Dafoe
as
as
the
the
Joker.
Joker. Yeah, that actually would have been a little terrifying in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. Definitely have to be a rated R.
Oh yeah, for frightening images.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he also used guns in that movie, and Batman did, and some of the, I mean, like some of the guns just shot like kryptonite grenades, but it was just so like you can see in some scenes Batman runs over people, like crushes them with the Batmobile. And like, I mean, granted they're criminals, but there's also one scene where he's in his bat plane and he's shooting at cars and they blow up with the people still inside.
Oh gosh.
And he uses a rifle to shoot this guy who's about to torch Superman's mom. And I'm just like, this is different. I mean, I know Michael Keaton's Batman killed a couple of people, but it's just, it was kind of it was a new twist because we went from Christian Bale, no killing, to Ben Affleck. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. So I just brought up the pictures of like the evolution of Batman, his outfits.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty neat to see how things have changed.
Yeah.
I still like the '89 is still my favorite suit too. Everything about that movie is just incredible.
It is. Like I said, I love, my favorite scene is when it's going to sound weird, but my favorite scene is like at the end. Because like I love that ascension to the top of the cathedral when the bat signal is up and you hear that in Danny Elfman's score. It just gives me goosebumps every time. And
yeah, best Batman theme for sure. And logo, I would say my favorite too.
Yeah, I love that Batman logo. And I was actually I did a now when I was in earlier I mentioned I was in that film music class. That we had to pick a movie that was our favorite film score, and that one was mine. And we had to talk about like why we liked it. And it's just, what really impressed me is that Danny Elfman, from what I read, I could be wrong, he didn't know how to read music.
Really?
Yeah, like he wasn't really a composer very much. He started off in the Oingo Boingo band. Have you heard of that? Yeah, he was originally the lead singer of the Oingo Boingo band, and Tim Burton one day approached him, said, "Hey, I hear your music. I want you to work on this film for me." He's like, "Oh, okay. You want a song?" He's like, "No, I actually want you to write a score." And he was like, "Wait, what?" But I think he had help. I think he kind of he had an orchestrator, kind of like write out the notes and everything for him. So he still wrote it. He probably just didn't construct it onto paper.
Right. Yeah, which they have programs for that now. You just plug your piano into your computer and play it, and it'll like bring it all up.
Mm-hmm. They have an organ for that. I'll have to send you a link for that later.
Yeah.
Best Batman theme is the one from the Adam West era.
It's still always a good one. You always replace Batman with Matman. That's what I used to when I was a kid. There's Matman.
They actually, out here in Oklahoma City, someone actually owns a replica of the Adam West Batmobile.
They do?
Yeah, like okay, funny story. My wife was working an event at the Cox Center by the fairgrounds, and they pulled the Batmobile in there, like the Adam West Batmobile. And then my wife texted me, and I think I still have that text somewhere, but she texted me a picture of it. She's like, "You got to come down there and see this." And I was like, maybe like 10 minutes away. I was just like, so I run to my room. I'm putting on my Batman stuff, like all of my Batman sunglasses, my Batman shirt. I was wanting to get a picture of me standing by it. I get halfway there, and my wife was like, called me saying like, "Hey, they actually found out they were in the wrong place, so they moved it." I know. I'm just like, it's like, "You're still welcome to come to the event, though. We can walk around." I was like, okay. And then I'm walking around with my Batman shirt and everything on, and everybody literally came up to me like, "Oh man, did you see the Batmobile?" I'm like, "No."
See, I actually have a picture with the '89 Batmobile when I was a kid. Yeah, I need to find that. I know it's in my parents' house. I know where it's at. I need to get that. And
is it the one from Six Flags?
No, there was a car show down at the fairgrounds, and yeah, they had it there. I got to take a picture with it.
Yeah, I saw the one at Six Flags, like outside the Batman ride. I do remember getting a picture by that one, and I think one of my old profile pictures was me standing by the '89 Batman symbol, bat signal.
That's cool.
At Six Flags, and that was really cool too. And I was just like, "Why am I not wearing a Batman shirt? I was wearing Superman." But yeah. So yeah, we've covered all of our topics, but now if you want to, we can just kind of just talk about talk about other stuff that we're looking forward to coming up. Like I think for me, it's Godzilla versus Kong.
When is that supposed to come out? About 2 or 3 more years?
Did hear it was delayed. I think it's still next year, or maybe.
Wow. See, I haven't watched. Was it Godzilla King of the Monsters?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched that one yet.
It's actually really good. I think you might like it.
I did read. I saw Kong Skull Island. I watched that one. I thought it was pretty cool, but I also read the novelization and thought that was better.
Yeah, I saw your video about that. Yeah, Kong was kind of hit and miss with me. I like that it tied it. I like that they foreshadowed Godzilla,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just the movie itself. It's just like you can tell that it was made because it had to be made, I guess.
Yeah. Should have made that first.
It said that it's supposed to come out this year, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Didn't King of the Monsters just come out like on DVD, or has it been out for a while?
Probably like a couple of months.
Okay,
but yeah, if I'd Redbox it maybe first if you want to check it out. I really think it's good. I enjoyed it. It's got a lot of cool monster action and I was wanting to talk to you about this because I know that this one's your favorite, and that's the Roland one, Roland Emmerich with.
Oh yeah, I like that. I remember going to the Taco Bell and getting the toys and like the big cup that they had.
Since we're on my podcast now, I can't be banned by anybody except. I was gonna say that movie is actually canon to the other Japanese Godzilla films.
It is.
It is because they actually brought that version of Godzilla back into one of the movies where he fights the real Godzilla, and he gets wasted immediately. But
oh wow.
But they've eventually labeled him or called him Zilla.
Okay.
And
what I liked about it so much is it was like a different look completely.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looked like a giant iguana.
It did, and like I said before, I enjoy it as a film. I think it's a great monster movie.
Mm-hmm.
Will
Definitely
I ever?
A 90s action film.
Mm-hmm.
And it cheese to it, but
it was like kind of like it was going, off the kind of riding the Jurassic Park train,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it definitely was good. I really do enjoy it. I even still watch it, and I bought the animated series that came after that. And
you posted a picture with that. Did you pay like $6 or something for the animated series or something?
Yeah, vintage stock, like the whole 2 seasons, like $7.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, I never saw the animated series.
Well, hey, after I'm done, I'd be happy to let you borrow it. So. But it's actually got some inspiration from the 70s Godzilla series that they had that Hanna-Barbera did. It's about these group of people that travel throughout the world, and whenever trouble comes, they actually summon got this device that summons Godzilla. And that's kind of what happens in the new one too, but with the characters from the movie.
Yeah.
We got some comments here. I'm sorry, quality autism. I'm looking forward to the next James Bond just because we can finally get rid of Daniel Craig. Ouch! Wow. I actually enjoyed Daniel Craig as James Bond. But I know that he's not for everyone. I know that my dad's favorite is still Sean Connery. He loves James Bond.
And I never really was a big fan of James Bond. I did like Skyfall, I believe that was the one that I liked, and the ones from the 90s with Pierce Brosnan. Those I never really saw those either, but I played the game on Nintendo 64. And I have to say, one of the best games ever made, still to this day.
We actually, we talked about that on your channel, about how jerks we were during the multiplayer.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was still. I actually watched a video of people doing proximity mine wars where they stick them to the ceiling and they just accidentally walk underneath them, or they do them at the respawn areas like you did. And let's see. Clearly, Jurassic Park was an influence with all the little Zillas at the end. Yeah, that with the raptors. but that movie was a really good, unique concept, uh, and like I said, they made it canon. I kind of call it a Godzilla spin-off film, kind of like
Hmm.
what Kong is, because in one Godzilla movie, there's this military briefing, and they're talking about Godzilla's history, like he came from the 50s and everything, and they said, oh yeah, and also in New York in the 90s there was another giant monster that attacked, and a couple of guys were whispering to each other saying like, the one in New York was Godzilla, right? That's what they said it was. Like, yeah, but our guys here are kind of have doubts.
Yeah. See, I liked. What was I gonna say? I saw. Oh yeah, the Quality Autism's comment there with the Zillas at the end. I remember when the movie ended, an egg hatched, right? And
Yeah,
you saw it like burst out. I was excited, thinking, "Oh, there's gonna be another one," and then there never was.
there was talks of a sequel though, and like I think I saw like what the script would have been. I think it said it was going to take place in Australia,
Okay. If
and
they did that, if they announced it tomorrow that Roland Emmerich's gonna do another one, I'd buy my ticket right now.
I'll even go see it. I mean, like I said, I mean that's not Godzilla to me, but I still enjoyed the film.
Even though I thought that the Independence Day 2 was a disaster,
I've only seen the first one, so
you don't need to waste your time on the second one.
let's see. What else we got? I enjoyed Casino Royale and Skyfall, but Craig clearly doesn't give a damn about the role, and it shows in his performance.
I can agree with that. He does look like he doesn't care.
Uh,
He's even said it said as much like, I don't care, I'm done. Then they got him back for another one.
yeah, yeah, I do remember the controversy about that, where he went on an interview, said like, I don't have to do it anymore if I don't want to, and I guess they had the right price for him, and I even heard that his wife actually didn't want him to do anymore because he's in his 50s now, and that's a little doing all that action stuff kind of takes a toll on him a little bit from what I heard, and but I mean the guy's probably in still better shape than I am, but
Yeah,
but
me too.
but yeah, you can definitely tell that. I mean, I'd agree that he's probably like, okay, I've played James Bond, I'm famous now, I want to move on to something else, because that happened to Sean Connery too. Like he played the role and he got stuck in it, and then he got typecasted, and it, I mean, he only had like several unique roles that I
Yeah.
remember clearly after that. Like, I mean, I know he played Robin Hood one time, and he played what else? He played League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Alan Quartermain. That was always a good one. But oh wait, do we have another one here? I would rather. Dead. Yeah. I would rather slit. Quality Autism says I would rather slit my wrists than play Bond again. Daniel Craig. He did say that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that.
I do remember him. I thought Quality Autism would say he'd rather.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I was just like, okay, whoa. But oh yeah, here's a unique Indiana Jones 5. Have you heard that Steven Spielberg is out of the project now?
I remember hearing the rumors that he was going to exit and have somebody else take over.
I don't know.
I honestly don't really have. I don't get excited about Steven Spielberg anymore.
Yeah.
I think the last time I was when it was Saving Private Ryan. Might have been his last.
I didn't even know he did that. I only saw that movie a long time ago. But
Really? I'm pretty sure he did Saving Private Ryan.
I thought that was. He might be right, but I'm honestly not sure why they're doing another Indiana Jones film.
It was Steven Spielberg, but yeah, I don't know why they would do Indiana Jones again. Just let it go.
I mean, honestly, I didn't care that much for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I feel like that was a good ending to the story. And I like that they're trying to set it up with Shia LaBeouf taking on the mantle of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I was like, nope,
Yeah.
in my hat,
Yeah.
And there's also talks that this might be a rumor. I mean, I mentioned it with Jeremy, and he said it was bullcrap, but or it could be bullcrap, but it was like Jaws is apparently going to be remade. No,
I don't know why he would remake that one. There's a bunch of other shark movies that are out or have been out recently, right? Like 2 or 3 different ones.
Let's see. Yeah, there's like Sharknado. There's the Meg. Um, what else is there? I mean, they make shark movies like every.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, there's also 47 meters down,
Yeah,
and
I just don't see why they would try to redo it. I mean, I guess now it would just be the name.
yeah, it's just.
That's it.
I used to. I mean, I was obsessed with sharks as a kid, and I was like, it was always my understanding, sharks aren't really that interested in you if you're in the water.
Yeah.
If anything, they would try to avoid you, really, but they only attack people out of curiosity.
Hmm.
But anyway, we got another quality autism quote. He says, "Thank God I have German exclusive indie books that play after Last Crusade."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, there are books.
Hmm. Quite a bit.
I wanted to read them, and I still want to watch The Young Indiana Jones. And I think it was actually quality autism on your Shark Exorcist. Yeah, I
You know,
saw that.
I go ahead.
Yeah, I saw that movie shown on one of those free movie streaming sites.
Oh gosh, I
It's
saw the review from the Red Letter Media channel. That was a funny video that they did.
But honestly, though, they said that if they did a remake, I guess I heard that it was supposed to be more like the novel, and I'm like, no. I would probably be okay with that only if it was like a made for TV or like a streaming service, like uh, what's it called, miniseries, where it's just like
Hmm.
a 2-part episode. Because that way, even if it doesn't, like, I don't want it in theaters. Like that way, if it does tank, then at least like, okay, we can just push this over here and
Yeah,
forget about it. And it was just, but yeah, I agree with you. Why would you want to remake Jaws? I mean, it was the very first summer blockbuster, and I very much think that in itself should like require that movie to just be left alone.
yeah, yeah. There's some things you don't touch. That's the way I always felt about Ghostbusters. And I remember hearing somebody say, "It's like I don't know why people are freaking out about the Ghostbusters. It's not like it's some special film." It's like, wait, hold on, what? It was like the last time I looked, it was still like in the top 20 biggest selling comedies of all time. I'm sure that numbers changed since the last time I saw the list, but still, to me, that was one of those movies you just don't touch.
It had a good cast, good
Oh
story.
yeah, humor was perfect. I mean, I quote that movie all the time. I mean, when someone's like, "How do you feel today?" It's like, "Oh, I feel like the floor of a taxi cab." It's brilliant. So one of my favorite quotes from a movie is from Ghostbusters, obviously. When Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is walking down the street, and Peter says to Egon, he's like, "Ray has gone bye bye, Egon. What have you got left?" And instead of the normal answer being like, "Oh man, I have no idea," or like, "I'm scared, I have no idea," he says, "Sorry, Venkman, I'm terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought." Who says that? It's brilliant.
That's
Just the humor. Even like one of the jokes in the very beginning of the movie. Okay, when Ray says, "Okay, I've got a plan. Just follow my lead," and they're getting close to the ghost. And what's the plan? He yells, "Get her!" He's like, "Get her!" That was the plan. And at the very end of the movie, whenever the Gozer comes down and you know just stares at them, they look at each other, and Peter is like points at Ray. He's like, "Go get her," and it's like tie into
yeah.
the beginning.
I own the Jaws novel. I haven't read it yet. It says quality autism. You should. I actually did read the book. It's actually pretty good. I honestly think. Um, and then he also said, and then they made Ghostbuster 2016, aka Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah. um, yeah. I really hope they don't remake it. Just leave it alone, and just because I feel like it. I mean, even with today's technology, like they should just. I mean, I still think it won't be that good because shark movies are really hard to
Yeah,
make good.
yeah,
I did, however, see that they upgraded one scene from Jaws: The Revenge, where Michael Brody's boat or submarine is being attacked by the shark. and I'll send you the link to it. It's actually
Okay.
good. But you actually look out, and instead of seeing like a clear robotic shark, like he kind of looks to your left, and like you actually see a big shark just go,
Oh,
and it's like a jump scare, and it actually threw me back in my seat a couple of times, but
yeah.
yeah, I'll send it to you. It's actually pretty good.
Okay. I do have. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. That's all I was gonna say.
I was gonna say, what movie do you think would be fun to get a remake or a reboot of? What movie? What like classic movie do you think would be okay for them to touch? Doesn't even have to be a classic. Just any movie. What movie do you think would be good?
I'm kind of looking at my many movie posters right now, and I'm kind of just trying to. A remake. That's maybe. What was it good? Maybe Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. Didn't that movie come out in like 2012 or something?
No, it was like 2002 or 4 or something like that. But
it had the guy that played Wolverine.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. Like,
I didn't see that movie. I just remember the previews.
It's, let's just say if you're like, if you have nothing else to do that day and you just kind of want give it a watch.
Okay.
Because it's got a pretty decent cast, but Dracula will make you laugh. Dracula with his Igor type accent. He's like, I am Count Dracula. You know, like he literally sounds like YouTube that, and it's hilarious.
Hey, since you're talking about Dracula, here's something else that I picked up: a novelization, Nosferatu.
Oh, nice.
Vampire book.
Oh yeah. Was that is that the original 1920s one, or
no? This was, I guess they did a remake.
Yeah, in the 70s. Like,
yes, this is the one that was in the 70s. Yeah, 1979.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. Klaus Kinski or something like that was his name, who played Dracula. Klaus something, I don't know, but I mean, I could be wrong. Go ahead.
I'm looking forward to reading this in like 15 years, but I got so many other things I want to read first, you know.
Yeah, Klaus Kinski was his name. Nosferatu the vampire, or vampire.
Okay. Oh, okay. Quality Autism says something about the only movie they can't remake is Back to the Future.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree too. I mean,
yeah, that is safe until the original makers die. Yeah, I believe that too. That movie is a lot of fun. I think I love Dragon Slayer, that 1981 film that I talk about all the time on my channel. That I think everybody needs to watch. You need to watch that.
Yeah, you gave me the glare. Be like, watch it.
Yeah, it's an order. No, but you really do. You know, I think you'll like it. If you like fantasy type films, I think you'll like it a lot. I would. That's one of those things. I would love them to do a remake of it. But then again, it's like, oh, everything that they redo or make now that's fantasy or sci-fi is always so shiny and clean. And that's what was so great about the Dragon Slayer too. Is it's like that gritty, dark. It's all cloudy outside. Mm-hmm. You know, misty air. It's not clean, shiny, sparkly things all over the place. And but I think it'd be cool with some updated effects to that film. Would be nice. Even just they did like a retouch up to the film for like a Blu-ray release, because it's not available on Blu-ray. But I wouldn't mind them trying to do something with that. Even like a sequel. I think a sequel would be great with the original actor that played the main character is still alive, which is the villain from, not the main villain, but from Ghostbusters 2. He's crap. Why is it escaping me all of a sudden? Who's the guy? The painter. I hate it when this happens to me. My brain just goes completely. I had 4 hours of sleep last night. Janosch. He's from the Upper West Side. He was the guy that worked at the museum. He was.
That guy. Yeah.
Janosch. Yeah, got possessed by the painting. He's in Dragon Slayer.
Oh, nice. He was also in a Dracula movie.
Oh.
He was in Mel Brooks's Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Okay.
He played Renfield, and honestly, rent that movie or buy it from vintage stock. It's for like $5. It's hilarious.
Okay.
You need to watch it. It's a parody of the Bela Lugosi Dracula as well as the Bram Stoker's.
Okay.
It's hilarious. Me and my brother used to quote that all the time. And let's see, Quality Autism has made some comments here. Van Helsing is a guilty pleasure of mine, and it kind of mine is too. Like but it's not a real masterpiece like The Mummy by the same director. Oh yeah, he did do The Mummy. What's his name? Steven Summers something. And he also said yes, they did make a remake with Klaus Kinski, sorry. And wasn't there something about a Lord of the Rings remake? Yeah, I heard about that too.
I don't know if they're remaking. They're doing a series it's on Amazon Prime that takes place in like the Second Age or something. So it takes place long before the events of what we know happens, which is exciting.
So it's a prequel series.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be like, age, whatever an age is in Tolkien's world, which might be like 1,000 or 2,000 years or something, which is really cool. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't have Amazon Prime, but whenever that comes out, I'm gonna probably do the free trial, create a new Amazon account, get my free trial, and
I'll be sure to edit this out so they don't have any proof against you.
I won't do that, but because you have to use your credit card, and it's like, oh, this is already used. Sorry, but yeah, I would love to watch it. My parents have Amazon Prime. I might go over to their house and watch it. So
yeah, my parents have it too, and they offer for me to use them. Just like, maybe if I need it. Like, there is one movie, a classic that I've always loved watching, and I kind of would like to see it remade in today's society. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called 12 Angry Men.
Mm-mm.
Well, it takes place in a courtroom or in a jury room. Like the whole movie is in a jury room. And it's just about how this one guy who clearly looks guilty was actually proven innocent by one guy, like who convinced a jury of 11 other people that this person was innocent and he even admits that he could be wrong, but he said that, because in our jury, in our justice system, we're supposed to, if there's any reasonable doubt,
right,
we can't vote guilty. And he kind of proves that in this case, although it might seem that he looks guilty, like we should think about it, and we should think about think about it, kind of actually talk about it instead of just like, he's guilty. Because it actually shows certain people like that in the film where they're just like, I got a ball game I want to go to tonight. Or like, I'm bored, I'm hungry. Like, and they just said, he's guilty, whatever. I'm and I really think that makes a really good statement, like how, this is, because it's a murder trial and especially in that circumstance, someone's life on the line, and you should really, even if he is guilty, you should probably take the time to at least discuss it.
Right, take it seriously.
Yeah. And we all know how good prequels usually
are. The Hobbit was a prequel. I did not like the Hobbit sequel or trilogy.
Really?
At all. The music was my favorite part.
Howard Shore. My wife, Howard Shore did really good. I did like the music. My wife doesn't like this, and again, I'm glad this is my channel and you can't ban me, but I actually prefer the Hobbit series over Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really? Wow.
I'm not saying Lord of the Rings is bad by any means. It's just, I think I just like the Hobbit story itself better.
The book, I liked the book a lot. I did read the book. I never read the Lord of the Rings books, like the trilogy, but I did read The Hobbit, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, we listened to the audiobook of The Hobbit on the way home from visiting my in-laws in Roswell. So
okay, I have a question. Was it the like the English audio play? Like, was there singing and like a group of people doing it?
Yeah. Oh no, it was only one person doing it.
Oh, okay.
But there was singing.
I think the one that I have has multiple people in it. I could be wrong, but I know they were singing, and the one I bought, I got it at Half Price Books. It came in a wooden box.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I don't think I still have that.
My wife actually went as Bilbo Baggins for Halloween one year. Like, I'll have to send you the pictures of her costume. It was actually really good.
It's funny.
Yeah, this one guy, me and my wife kind of laughed because he did the same voice for every like big character.
Oh, yeah.
Like he had like a baritone-ish type voice, and whenever Smog came in, he'd be like, "I am Smog," you know.
It's funny. The thing that I hated about the movie too is the main character. Like all of the dwarfs should have been those little ugly, big-nosed dwarfs, but the main guy looked normal. He's like a normal human being.
Oh, Thorin.
Yeah, and it's like I thought, like his nose, he should have had the prosthetic nose that looked big and goofy because the dwarves, that's what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
They're short, stubby, big fat nose. But it's like, oh, we got to make our lead character like the pretty boy. That's what bothered me about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the concept art is really cool, but yeah, that bothered me for some reason.
Did you know that the actor that played Thorin was in one of the Star Wars films?
I did not.
I think this is like at the beginning of his career. I think I could be wrong, but I think he was only I can't remember which one it was. But he was just an extra. And but like if you were to like look for him, I think you'd be able to see him. But
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry, quality autism. I would want some bad Stephen King movies to get some good remakes like The Stand. I actually haven't seen The Stand.
I haven't. I think I have it though. I remember a couple years ago we bought. Was it a TV movie? Quality autism. Could you answer that? Or I could look it up. We bought this like box set of Stephen King TV movies, and it had It, Salem's Lot, and something else. The Shining. It had The Shining. So I don't think it had The Stand.
My wife recently read it, and oh my gosh, like if it's very disturbing. Like it's nowhere near as disturbing as the movies according to what she said, because it's just very brutal and violent and like I mean. I don't want to say it on my channel, like what happens in it, because it's just really disgusting. So, I mean, but I would, maybe you could read it later. But let's see. Yes, it was made for TV, just like what's that said?
Langoliers,
or King's Shining remake. Yeah, I actually read about his Shining remake that was in. That actually took place at the actual hotel, because the one in the 70s one didn't take place at the right hotel.
Right. Which the exterior for the one in the Shining movie is completely different. Like it's, I've been to the place in Oregon. It's on Mount Hood. Me and my wife went on our honeymoon, and we went up to Mount Hood and saw that hotel.
Oh, so nice.
The Overlook Hotel, I think what it was called.
Please tell me that you played the music. The bomb,
I didn't even think about it until after the fact. After we had left the place, I was like, "Oh, that was the place that they used in The Shining."
I actually found out too that Shining hotel, the real one, was actually in the Dumb and Dumber movie.
That was one of the best comedies too. I like that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I just found out it was a really good movie. Like I quote it with my brother too, and but it was. But Stephen King hated Kubrick's Shining film. Like he hated it with a passion, and he had no problem going on, like going public with his hatred for it. And so eventually, he wanted to remake his own version of it. And from what I heard, they gave him the rights to it. Like I think Kubrick owned the film rights to it, I think, or with the studio that produced it. They said they wanted to do a remake of it, and they said, "You can make a remake of it, Stephen King, but on one condition: stop bad mouthing our movie." And he was just like, Okay. But
Yeah.
did she tell you that was actually the what I didn't want to talk about? But yeah, that's um the there's there's
Yeah, I've heard things about his books that are just kind of out there.
let's just say with the group of the kids, there's some things that happen that shouldn't have happened because
Yeah.
it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Um, um, but yeah, I'm not gonna say it. It-
I
the
actually really have no interest in reading Stephen King books, except I have Pet Cemetery, but I love the movie, like the original movie, a lot. So I
mhm.
don't want to.
Me and my wife make fun of that guy. What the guy that plays Herman Munster, the older
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
because he makes this quote in the movie saying like, "This is my doing. Now I have to undo it." Then the next thing we see him, he's like,
Sleeping.
"Yeah,
Yeah, he was also in that movie, My Cousin Vinny, the judge. He was the judge.
hmm Oh, I
It
haven't
was-
seen that one.
You haven't? Oh man,
I
that's a
haven't.
good
No.
one. It's got Joe Pesci in it, and
Oh,
the guy that plays in The Crossroads and Karate Kid. What's his name?
uh, oh,
Machado. Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, he's in it. They get arrested, and I think it's his uncle, who is Joe Pesci, is the lawyer that tries to get them out of jail. It's pretty funny. I highly recommend you see that one too.
Okay, I'll check it out. But well, I think that is going to wrap things up for this podcast. I just want to say again, Matthew, thanks again for joining me on today's podcast. You know, that was really again, thank you. Really appreciate you being on today.
Oh, hey, thank you for having me. Been needing to get on here for a while. After I had you on my channel, I accidentally blocked you, and I was like, oh no, from the chat, and I was like, I got to get him on here. What's
Yeah.
your email address? You could join me, but flip the webcam. Just out on a limb, and it's funny that you were the guy, and it turns out you live here, so it's pretty cool that it all came about that way, and had to pay you back and show up on your channel, and I look forward to doing it again sometime in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to having you back on, and you know, definitely looking forward to more of the live streams on your channel or
Yeah.
Stupid Chainsaws. And
Yeah.
I did talk to Matt Wilkins. I talked to you and Jeremy about doing another live stream with the four of us, and Matt Wilkins said that he'd be interested, but it just depends on if he can.
Right,
So
right. That's the thing is the schedules are just so hard to line up. And Thursdays are usually the best for me, but
yeah,
not for everybody else. But yeah.
but yeah, hey Matt, tell us again where we can find you at
Well, the Geeks Attic on YouTube. I am on the geeksattic.com, just a website where basically put everything that I do visually. I mean, instead of well, I guess YouTube's visually. You just want to read. If you would rather read my reviews, sometimes I put them on the website. Need to do something a little bit better on there, but something more exclusive to the website, which I have ideas for. But yeah, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, The Geeks Attic. So Instagram, you can find me there.
All right, awesome. Well, and to Quality Autism, thanks for joining us in the comments, and
Yes.
look forward to seeing you guys again on other live streams. And but yeah, again, Matthew, thank you again. And for all of my viewers, I did put a link to Matthew's channel in his in the description. So yeah, go check him out. Go give him a subscribe. And if you want to start reading the Star Wars books, I recommend that you listen to Matthew. I'm trying. There we go,
Yeah,
Matthew from the
see,
Geeks
it always
Attic.
has mirrored.
But yeah, if you ever just kind of want to know if a Star Wars book is good or not, definitely check out his channel, and he gives some really good reviews. And but yeah, again, Matthew, thank you so much, and can't wait to see all of you guys again. And you guys have a great day.